Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 10th of April for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you a collective overview that we can all relate to, but please stay with me as I explore each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces in much greater detail. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new here, it's great to have you with us. This is very much a community, so please share any thoughts you have, and I'd be honoured if you would subscribe to the channel. So please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. However, if you would like to understand how more serious astrology can play a role in your life and your decision making, if you do give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can prepare for you your life roadmap report. This will help you to get a much more intimate understanding the patterns that have played out so far, but how you can overcome the challenging ones and seize the more positive ones more firmly. Also, in my special package of 30% off, you can get your 12-month personal forecast, totally unique to you. Now please see below for more on that, but if you don't know your time, if you can give me your date of birth and your place of birth, I can produce your solar chart. This won't have an ascendant, it assumes the moon at midday, but if you really enjoy my YouTube videos, you can align it with your sun sign really well. And again, the special offer applies to that too. Again, please see below for more. Now this week begins with the Sun racing towards an exact conjunction with Jupiter in the sign of Aries. Now this is one of the best aspects you can possibly have in astrology. The Sun, of course, is about our raw energy and our desire to achieve things, but Jupiter is very much about expansion and it's about optimism, and it can in traditional astrology be linked to fortune. When we put the two together in the first zodiac sign of Aries, we're talking about the fire of that sign sparking greater confidence, momentum, thrust. So a lot of excitement reaches a peak on Tuesday. They're still going to be allied to one another really well right through this week. But if there is something you want to inject with fresh energy, this is a great time to do so. However, this can be a complex week for relationships, because Venus also moves on Tuesday into the sign of Gemini, where it's very flirty, very sociable, great for mixing and mingling, or even sending those cheeky text messages. But it forges a very profound link with Pluto for the rest of the week. So I feel that there can be conversations, because both are in air signs, which can help us to really understand who's really in our corner. But conversely, stern Saturn, very much to do with restrictions, is forging a tense right angle to Venus. So if there are any relationships in your world which aren't working very well, I think this is a week that's going to flag them up, despite the innate positivity of the Sun's conjunction with Jupiter. But there is another irony, because the North Node, obviously mainly usually reversing, forges a very stable link with Saturn. So if we've done something in the past which has been a good deed, we've helped someone, we've really invested in some way, perhaps even been generous around our resources, I think something can come back to us in a positive way. But the quarter moon, which occurs on Thursday, is in the sign of Capricorn. So those relationship snags may be around professional ties as much as personal ones. Jupiter's involved in that event too, so that's telling. And it's asking us really to stay grounded. For example, if we felt we had such a super duper idea and we really felt that everyone should be just in awe of its magnificence, the chances are that somebody in a position of influence, someone who's been around a bit longer, someone who's quite experienced, who could be important to the next phase of the development of this, whether it's the bank manager, a business advisor, an investor, someone in the family, or perhaps even a boss. It's important to keep those more traditional people on side. So we need to make sure that anything we are promising we can deliver on in a meaningful and tangible way, which is very Capricorn. However, by the end of this week, Mercury does just edge forwards, although it is slowing down, ready for its retrograde, which begins next week, into a conjunction with Uranus. So some kind of innovation or unusual idea around how to use our resources could manifest itself as this week draws to a close. But please stay with me as I go through each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces. So Leo, your week commencing the 10th of April forecast really does put a lot of emphasis on Tuesday. With the cresting of the Sun's alliance to Jupiter, this can really give you a burst of optimism, a desire to break out, be more daring, adventurous, book that holiday, do something that is very enterprising and perhaps even completely off the cuff. But on the same day, Venus, the planet of relating, but also of desire, moves into your sector of friendship. This gives you an opportunity over the next few weeks to celebrate the things you have in common with an existing partner or friend, but it also, because it's in a tight right angle to Saturn, can make you aware of where things are really not working. So if a relationship is bumping along the bottom, that can be quite challenging. The irony is that Venus forges an amazing link with Pluto. So if you're lucky enough to really be invested in a situation where you feel very respected, it's a mutually receptive and appreciative tie, then I feel that Tuesday can really be a lovely point between you. However, later in the week, there is a quarter moon, and I think it brings up a theme that has been playing out in your situation for a while now, and that is trying to balance the part of your situation which has put a lot of demands on you personally over the last 15 years to be quite self-sacrificing to support others, but just at a time when Jupiter is pushing you to be more in touch with your desire to be more spontaneous. It could be that you feel quite resentful of any obligations you've got. But one of the worst things you could do on Thursday is promise to do something practically to help somebody that you can't then deliver on. So I would be careful what you say, because when Jupiter and the Sun are pretty close together and in a square with the Moon, being very bubbly, very generously spirited is entirely possible, but you don't want to then give yourself a further burden just at a time when you're trying to give yourself a bit more space and freedom. As the week draws to a close, your professional situation, however, sees Mercury, despite the fact it's now in its pre-retrograde shadow, in a tight embrace with Uranus. And this can give you a lot of intense information or inject into your thinking some creativity or innovation. So if you have felt a little bit stuck around a job situation, for example, I think all this 9th house energy gives you the chance to be more daring, but the 10th house energy suggests that maybe travel or a change of scene around your work could actually really seem quite attractive at the present time. But then again, you may want to escape from your work a little bit, because with Uranus, of course, it can be to do with freedom and truth as much as great ideas.